well and enjoying the spring. Tonight we'll be going to make something out of this amazing lion's mane mushroom that we've grown. So we got this from a new company that we've not tried before, Fruit Body Organics, and we've been growing this for just over 2 weeks. I think it's probably about 15, 16 days. And tonight is the night to harvest it. And what are we going to be turning this into? I'm sure you're all asking. Well, we are going to be turning this into like some Cajun style, essentially like chicken burgers, but obviously with the mushroom. But that's the sort of the vibe of the dinner that we're going to be getting. So without further ado, let's harvest this big old thing.
Are you going to harvest that, are you?
I'm going to harvest it right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I brought that home. I travelled to Devon and hold on a minute, look, this is quite a significant moment. You can't just do that.
Well, I can, I've done it.
Hold on, let me film it and capture this.
Okay. We're just cutting it away.
I purchased this by chance. We've had lion's mane before.
We've got some of the substrate there, so I'm just going to trim that off.
Yeah, this packet was about £24, and in 16 days we've produced this, which is probably a couple of pounds worth of lion's mane.
Yeah, we should get another flush from this at least, so we will continue to grow this.
We'll sort that out at a later stage.
Yeah.
So lion's mane can be a little bit difficult to get hold of at the moment, but I think it's something that's going to be quite popular in the future. So yeah, you can obtain these grow kits. It's probably the best way to get them. It's bloody well worth it when you do get hold of one. It is, yeah.
So we've had this a few times before. So what we do now is we're gonna cut this into some like pieces, which we will firstly cook down and essentially press as we're cooking. And then we're later on going to coat them in batter and like a breadcrumb mix. So first of all, we're just going to press it. We're just going to, with no oil, just a dry pan, just cook it down and press as you go. I'll give it a turn a few times, and we're going to remove basically the water from it. So we should get some liquid coming off of here quite soon. Let's start by turning the first couple of bits, and it will reduce down in size.
So we've got it on a high heat, and we're trying to sear it up, yeah?
Yeah, essentially that's what we're doing. I'm just going to season it at this point, just with a little bit of salt and pepper. And because we're making this kind of like a Cajun flavour dish, we'll also add a little bit of smoked paprika at this stage. We will be adding some more later on, and I'm going to make a little rub, which I will, or a little season mix, which I'll show you shortly. Searing nicely, as you can see. Okay, so if you take a look in the pan, as you can see, they've reduced down quite a bit in size, and they've really started to char up slightly. And they do resemble something that reminds me of like a piece of chicken.
It does look like a chicken burger.
Yeah. So I think this stage of the process is pretty much done. We don't want to, obviously that one's started to blacken up a little bit. Let's turn the heat off. We don't want to overdo it at this stage, because these will be cooked again once they're battered and breaded. So what I'll do now is I will remove these from the pan and just place them on this board, and they'll cool down a little bit as we get ready to do the next stage. So there we go, let's just leave that to one side. Now I did mention previously that I was going to be making a bit of a spice mix, so a bit of Cajun seasoning really. Now one of the ingredients that my recipe asked for was onion powder or onion salt, which I didn't have, but I do have some of these crispy fried onions. So I'm just going to whack those in and give them a little smash up with my pestle and mortar, and hopefully this will have the desired effect. And it also adds a little bit of crunch and a little bit of texture. So hopefully this should do the job. And now to this I'm going to add some, let's use a spoon, some garlic powder. I just put like a nice big teaspoon of each really, I think. Some smoked paprika. Some oregano. This is dried oregano. Some cayenne pepper. Like so. And then some chilli powder. I just put in slightly less chilli powder because we don't want to be too spicy. So that was a sort of a scant teaspoon. So just continue mixing this through, which is looking good. Okay. So let's put that to one side. Now we're going to make a batter and also like a breadcrumb dip for this. So first of all, for our batter, we just got some plain flour. And then we'll add in some of this Cajun mixture, a couple of spoonfuls. And we're going to combine that with some sparkling water. You can just use some regular water if you want. Just the sparkling water just adds it, gives it a little bit more lightness because of obviously the carbon dioxide that's in there, the sort of the air, the bubbles. You could also use beer if you wanted to do like a beer batter. So we just mix this round, and we want the batter to be relatively thick, not too runny, so that it will stick nicely to our mushroom pieces. So that's looking probably the right sort of thickness that we want. So let's put that to one side. And then for our sort of dry mixture, panko breadcrumbs. So put a nice decent amount of there in. And of course some more of our Cajun seasoning mixture. Just stir that through. See how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. And then a little bit more of the flour, so just plain flour, not too much. The panko wants to be the sort of predominant ingredient in this mix really. You might need a little bit more actually. Okay, that should do it. So we've got our dry breaded mix, we've got our butter. We get our pan back on the hob and we get some oil in there, get it warmed up, and then we'll show you the next step of us cooking it, frying it. So just quickly here, I'm going to be serving our burgers with some chips, and I had the chips already in the oven. I've left the skin on, I quite like skin on chips, but I've got a small amount of this mix left, so I thought let's just add this onto the chips and give them a bit more flavouring as well, because that's always quite nice to do, carry the flavours through the whole meal. So I just thought I'd show you that little element that I was doing there, and of course that's something that you could do yourselves. Okay, so we're ready to start frying these bad boys up. So I've got a pan on here with some oil in. This is just some rapeseed oil, and we've got our two mixes, so let's get cracking. So what we need to do first is dip each piece in the batter and then into the breadcrumb mix, and again make sure it's coated entirely like so, and then into the pan. Get a nice sizzle on that. So I'll repeat that with all the other pieces here and add them into the pan. Okay, so they've been in the pan for a minute or two. So they don't need loads of cooking. We're just going to turn them a couple of times So they'll probably have about sort of 3 or 4 minutes on each side. And really, I mean, they are cooked through, so we're just kind of crisping them up now with the breadcrumb mixture. And whilst these are cooking, I'm just going to get our buns and our lettuce and everything ready that's going to go with these. So let's see what they look like in another couple of minutes. Okay, so everything's ready. They actually didn't need that much frying in the end. It only took like a couple of minutes on each side. So let's get them dished up. So now we've got some buns here which we've just toasted. So if we, let's just move that out of the way. So we'll start with some lettuce, and we put some lettuce on our buns and a little bit of tomato as well. And then let's have a couple of these bad boys. Andrew, do you want some sauce?
Yeah, a bit of mayo,
A bit
probably.
of mayonnaise. So we've got some vegan mayo here. It's a new jar. Let's get that open. And if we just do a nice dollop on the top. Wow, this is going to be a high thing, because look how much height it's taken up just to get that like that. Wow. And then we'll also add some of these are the nice Cajun flavoured chips that we made. These are all ready. So let's put some of these on the plate as well. And then I'm going to guess you want to do a little taste test of this, would you?
Sure, would, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, it's me, Andrew. Lion's Mane grower and Chief Quality Control Officer.
That's what we need. Look at that big thing. It's a stack.
Chips are actually rocking out.
Good.
Right, so let's get onto this thing then. So this is what we've been doing. But that is like the crispiest thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a real crispness to it for sure.
How am I going to get my mouth around this?
I'm sure you'll manage. Maybe you need to take it out and just taste a bit on its own. Or is that okay? I can hear you chewing. Is it
I'm
good?
not surprised. Wow. That is one crispy, meaty, vegan burger. Oh, I can just feel the spice coming through afterwards. Yeah, that's really good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Well, I can't wait to tuck into mine.
I know. I know you asked me to do this taste test really quickly, so that
Because I'm hungry.
you want to get into your one.
Yeah. So it's something a bit different. It's definitely worth giving it a try, I think. If you like mushrooms and you like trying out new flavours and textures and things like that, and new experimental ways of growing and cooking your food, then yeah, I'd highly recommend it.
Lion's Mane burger steak mushroom patties are rocking out.
Excellent. Right, we will catch you next time, guys.